I've been asked to talk about investing in infrastructure. That's exactly what we've been doing over the last few years. Infrastructure is like the skeleton that holds up the body. If you take the skeleton out of the body, it's just left with a mass of flesh. It can't stand, it will fall. And so you need infrastructure to hold up the body that makes us who we are. And so the infrastructural network of any country, the roads, the ports, the airports, the railways and all those things are the skeleton that hold up the economy. And so it just makes sense to invest in infrastructure. We're a very highly political country, and so when you invest in infrastructure, somebody says, but we don't eat infrastructure. We want money in our pockets, but of course, it is infrastructure that drives the economy forward and creates the money that eventually ends up in people's pockets. And so in the last few years, we've been investing very heavily in infrastructural development. When I took over the reins of government, I faced three major problems. The first was the economy. We had instability in the economy. The deficit was at almost 12%. Interest rates were rising. Inflation was rising. The cedi, the currency, was depreciating at a very fast rate. And so one of the major priorities was to stabilize the economy. Then the second challenge was major power crisis. Demand for power had exceeded supply, and we were suffering major problems with our generating assets. And so another major challenge was to stabilize the power situation as quickly as possible. And then we had a deteriorating socio-economic infrastructure. The roads were bad, the railways were down, the ports were congested, the airports were struggling to cope with the passenger numbers. We had problems with social infrastructure, schools, education, hospitals, and all that. And so that was the third challenge that one had to deal with, restore the socio-economic infrastructure. And so I had my work cut out for me. Of course, power took the bulk of my attention because that was the most critical one. And for those of you who come from Ghana, you know what dumso means. And so resolving dumso was a very important challenge. And then the second was stabilizing the economy. And the third was restoring the socio-economic infrastructure. And so that's what we've been about. Ghana's prospects are bright. It's projected that from 2017 will grow at a respectable 8%, and it could increase beyond 8% going forward.